Hey guys, appreciate y'all being here. I love the afternoon live streams. It's fun actually, so I enjoy these probably even better than Sunday night. Yeah, I just got back from a walk, taking the dogs outside. I got off the shower, and I love the morning ones or the mid afternoon ones. That's for sure. Especially as I get older, I get tired, more and more tired. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of run some consumer expenditure survey stuff about expenditures and whatnot. And I'm looking for a chart that I can't find, but I have a couple in here that I want to go over with you guys because it's interesting as all can be here. If I can, oh, right there we go, sweet. It's exactly what I was looking for, right there. All right, cool. Actually, hold on just a second. I'm looking for this chart here. It's not quite what I was looking for. Hold on just a second while I find this chart. BLS. Do I get consumer? Let's go to BLS. All right. That's multi-year consumer expenditure. Let's see what this is. All right. Oh, here we go. All right, cool. Yeah, sweet. All right, sweet. So what I want to do, what's going on, everybody? Southeast Wisconsin, the house, right on. A couple guys in Florida, right on, right on. Pulverizers, listen to Pink Floyd. Harry, right on, right on. K Paso. And just while we're waiting for more people to jump on, you got CB, Corporal, CB in Michigan. I actually just had a couple kind of chuckle at this right here. German investor morale dips as inflation. What's going on there? All right. German investor morale dips as inflation fuels recession angst. I can't stress enough that Germany is like one of the biggest economies in the world. All right. And, not as goes Germany as goes the rest of the world. But, when Germany starts to stutter, it's going to be felt worldwide. Rising cost of living will hit private consumption. Shocking. And suggesting Europe's largest economy is tipping into recession. Shocking. The economic index set on the economic sentiment fell to 53.3. The still high inflation rates and expected additional costs for heating and energy. Again, the still high inflation rates and the expected additional costs for heating and energy lead to a decrease in profit expectations for the private consumption sector. This is insanity, man. I did a video on this earlier today, a managed decline. It's a globalist who don't like our ability to spend. They like spending, but they don't like the peons like us being able to spend like they can. And it's just that simple, man. The German economy stagnated in the second quarter with the war in Ukraine, soaring energy prices. Inflation is running 8.5%. That's what is running here too, but not according to Sniffy Joe and his people. We have 0% inflation. It's crazy. Economic situation was deteriorating in Germany, and the outlook is fragile. Expects the economy to shrink in the third quarter. All right, so wait a second. So recession is when the economy shrinks. So inherently we're in this recession because we had 2 straight quarters of shrinking economy. A truck maker, Daimler Truck, said last week it could keep prices high even if certain costs begin to fall. Yeah, that's great. Good stuff. It's nuts. Self-imposed. You get the people you vote for, man. If your vote counts. So what's going on here? All right, there we go. Still here? All right, cool. Hey, right. Oh man, Dana, yo, right on. You got your better half with you? And the pup? Right on, man. Chesterfield, Ronald Sherry. All right, not familiar with Ronald Sherry. He's on Facebook. Cool. Southern Indiana, Frenchie, Michael Vance. Tejas, right on. I got Tejas, cool. Now look at that, sailing Casco Bay. All right, so Communist State of California. Anyway, so I guess what I'm trying to say is nothing you can do about this. So the only thing you can do about the insanity is just try to live your best life, and just don't let it get you too frustrated. I got San Antonio in the house. Right on. Pete, are you in San Antonio proper? USAA? Are you working for USAA or are you north like I was? I lived in Bernie. right up I-10, Bernie, in Kendall County. Yeah, see, this is where the inflated prices are here to stay. But we don't know. I mean, because they weren't here to stay in the Great Depression. They weren't, and we don't know. That's right. Pulverizer lives in Philippines. Right on. Right on. Gotcha. All right. Right on. All right. Good. And so what happens is they say, "Hey, inflation is flattened as it went up like this. It's whatever. It's completely beyond our ability to handle." I will say, I cooked for $36. All right. I fed my family not once, not twice, but thrice for $36 on beef loin, choice cut, Costco. Was it New York? I think. I can't remember. But beef loin choice cut, Costco. $36. And what you do, because it's this huge thing, it's like the size of a brisket. You just chop it up into 2 or 3 pieces and sous vide it once, and you put in the broiler for 5 minutes on each side, and that sucker is good. I'm telling you, it is good, man. $5.99 a pound of choice beef loin. I think it's New York cut. I'm going back up there today. I fed my family of 4 or 5, not once, not twice, but thrice for $36. That's the way you do it, man. You buy the whole thing, you vacuum seal it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I actually just posted this video today, or not video, when I sous vide right here. I posted this on my Ninja Foodie. You don't have to use Ninja Foodie to sous vide. Ninja Foodie kicks ass. So see that? 0.28 kilowatt hours for 3 hours of sous vide. That's 3 cents basically. Crazy. Put in the broiler, 5 minutes each side, done, and you are good to go. I mean, that's a freaking serious. That's $36 plus a little bit of electricity, plus a little bit of fixings. Let's say, but when all said and done, we'll say $40 to feed your family with freaking high quality choice meat 3 times. It's good, man. All right. Well, here's the issue. It'll probably get worse soon. I read someplace about that the beef prices should be going up pretty soon. I don't know that to be true or not, but it's like, ooh. And I forgot where I read. I was trying to find that article. It's like a report on it. I can't remember where I found it, but I was like, I just remember the guy who wrote it. I was like, ooh, I like that. I'm familiar with that guy's research. I was like, oosh. Anyway, so better. You got to get a vacuum sealer or just freeze dried, but I'm not buying those Harvest Fresh freeze dryers. They're just too expensive. But you buy a vacuum sealer and just vacuum seal everything, man. Put it in your freezer, and just rotate it out. Anyway, so why would you not be I don't get it. Why would you not be a prepper? I don't get it. I don't get why anyone would say I'm not a prepper. I don't get it. You should be a prepper. Doesn't mean you're worried about zombies. It means you say, hey, I got to make sure I got enough to get me through the winter. Look at my man here. He just said farmers sold out of beef in Texas due to drought. Yeah, nothing wrong with prepping, man. Being a prepper doesn't mean you think that the freaking commies or the Nazis or the zombies are coming or George Soros. It just means you're like, look, things can happen, and things can happen quickly without being prepared. So it's Boy Scouts. You know what I'm saying? Just be prepared. Be prepared. All right, yeah, everyone stacks up, but it's whether it's for a week or for a month. I mean, look, he obviously wants some freeze drive. I get all that, but the nice thing about prepping is that you say, look, I'm going to buy it in bulk, essentially. I'm going to slice it up how I want. I'm going to vacuum seal what I don't use. I'm going to put it in the freezer. But what if the electricity goes out? That's why you have inverters. You have full tanks of gas in your car, and you have alligator clips so you can keep it running. Or if you have a solar panels, which I do, and some batteries, you can keep your solar batteries charged via the solar. I mean, again, solar is not very efficient. I don't get, look, solar is not going to run the world. It's just stupid. But at the end of the day, can it run your appliances for a little bit until the grid goes back on? Sure, absolutely. And when I say your appliances, I'm talking about you're not going to run if you don't run heat stuff off your solar panels. That's just stupid. And when I'm saying solar, I mean your batteries. If you're grid tied, I don't care. But if you have solar couple solar panels that charges a battery. You don't want to run heating elements off that. It's dumb. Don't do that. But for freaking cold, like your ice box, it doesn't take that much juice, man. It doesn't. And man, and you can keep your stuff frozen for a while without much. Just a couple of solar panels. I mean, you don't even need solar panels, but you just have to have the inverters. You have to have full tank of gas to run your car, and you have to have batteries, and you're good. Because the likelihood of your grid going down for more than 14 days is not very high. I know there are times where it has gone down for more than that. It doesn't happen very much in the entirety of the United States. It doesn't. So the reason you be a prepper isn't to prep for the unlikely stuff. An EMP. I don't buy the whole EMP stuff anymore. The freaking the Chinese taking over. I don't buy that. What's the other one? Zombies and the silly aliens. That's dumb. Dumb. All that stuff's dumb. The reason to be a prepper is for when the grid goes down. And it has happened more and more. And it'll continue to happen more and more because the one thing we're relying more and more on is unreliable energy. Voila. Hydro, which is slowly becoming unreliable, isn't it? Yes, it is. Who would have thought hydro would be unreliable? Solar is unreliable. I mean, right now it's cloudy outside there. You know what I'm saying? You're still probably getting, 600 meters or 600 watts per meter out there, square meter of energy coming from the sun. That's not the normal 1100 watts because it's cloudy. Anyway, so we're relying more and more on unreliable electricity sources to run our economy. And this is where people are just freaking idiotic, man. I literally, the ignorance of these green people, it's incredible to me how these people just don't get it. They think if they have a freaking gigawatt of nameplate capacity, that's all they need to run a society. It's insane, man. It's first of all, not because the point is unreliable is when we need it the most to be relied on. What can you rely on? Coal, nuclear, natural gas, oil. What can't you rely on? Wind and sun, and apparently hydro. In fact, I don't have it anymore. It's funny. The Drax, there's a big biomass thing up in England, UK. I used to run coal, and now they run biomass because biomass is green. They're literally chopping down virgin forests in Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, down here in the Southeast, and they're shipping it via ships, probably run either by nuclear or diesel, to England so they can put it in a biomass facility called Drax. And then England gets to say, look, we're carbon offset. We're zero emissions. The whole thing's freaking stupid. It's such a clown show. Yeah, I don't want to get started on that because that's not where I want to go. Oh, my man, Ken Wheeler says natural honey. And no, it's just me, Pablo. It's just me. Pablo's just me. Said natural honey is the only food item that doesn't spoil. I did not know that. So that might be something to look at. I don't know that to be true. I'm just reading what Ken Wheeler said. Natural honey, real honey from a beekeeper is the only food that won't ever go bad. But if anyone knows that, let me know. Harry says, Josh, you need one of these things: 12 volt, 24 volt, 2000 watt, 220 volt, 800 watt AC permanent magnet, brushless, high power pedal generator, DC. Ooh. You should send me a link, Harry. I'd like to look into that for sure. Oh, interesting. Honey will not spoil. Yeah, man. Send me a link on that, Harry. I'd like to see that. And it's true that honey will not spoil. All right. So I'm going to go into. All right. So I'm going to show you an article. I'll cite later on. This one right here. The 15 worst states to live on just a Social Security check. That'll be interesting. And then I want to go into, I'll do a video on that later. I haven't read it yet. It'll be fun. Sometimes I just like doing the quick, easy, the cheap stuff. This is cheap stuff. You don't have to really think that much about it and just do the video on. And I get lots of views when I do these. It's like a sugar high. These silly videos from Finance Yahoo or Market Watch. They're sugar high videos. Because it's just as easy, you know what I'm saying? It's like eating McDonald's, but I get views, so I'll do that. But here's my man Fritz Gilbert, right? Fritz Gilbert. 4 lessons from 4 years of retirement. Very much looking forward to doing that. And that's the Retirement Manifesto, retirementmanifesto.com. Big fan of Fritz's, so I'm going to do a video on that. All right, so I want to dive into the CPI stuff here. If I can find what I want to look at. Hold on a second. Yeah, right here. All right, so this is fun. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to interesting. Bill B says Norway is dependent on hydro. Every few years, they have shortages of rainfall, which impacts their generation capacities. How dare they? How dare they? I think that, all right. So what? So wrong one. All right. So anyway, but this is fine. We'll start with here. BLS data finder. And you'll see a bunch of different. There's so many charts on here. It's freaking. It's awesome. It's awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to do total average expenditures by age, and we're going to do total average expenditures by age 65 and older. And I want to show you the chart, which I think is pretty cool. Total average expenditures by age 60. Yeah, right here. All right. All right. So here's total average expenditures by age. Does it go back to? Just goes back to 1988. It's the furthest it goes back to 2020. What's this? Oh, cool. Very sweet. I know. All right, fantastic. All right. So at total average expenditures by age, person 65 and over. So what we're going to see, we're going to come down here. $17,297 was the total average expenditure by age. We'll go into this here in just a second. 65 and over in 1988. So we take our trusty calculator. We say our present value, 17,297 plus minus, 17,297 plus minus our present value, 1988 minus 2022, that'd be 34 years, 34N, and 47,579 is our future value. So from 1988 to today, people who are 65 and older increase their spending by 3% a year. Oh my goodness, that proves you wrong about your inflation. We're going to talk about this though. So people 65 and over spent $17,000 a year in 1988. People 65 and older spent $47,000 a year in 2020. Here's the issue though. These aren't the same people. This is someone 65 and older. This is not longitudinal studies where they're not following the same people from 65 to 70 to 70 to 75 and whatnot. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, so you can see though, let's just say my granddad was 65 in 1988. All right, we'll just say that for example. We'll say my mom was 35 in 1988. Fast forward, my granddad since passed. But my mom is 65 now. She's not 65, but just use that for an example. That's where it's not the same people. It's completely different people. And the reason why this is important is because a lot of people say, see, your spending goes up by 3% a year once you're over 65. But it doesn't, man. It doesn't. Your spending goes down because Grampy, as he is aging, his expenditures started to decline the more older you get. I just wanted to point that out because I think it's pretty important. A lot of people just look at a chart like this. They say, see, inflation is 3% for someone 65 and older. But you can't look at it like that. You got to look at it from 65 to 74, 74 to 84, and stuff like that. All right, so let's go. Let's keep going back here now. So we're going to, I hope that makes sense. It probably doesn't. Let's, so I want to go back because I want to kind of show you if I could find. Let me get rid of this one. Blink. If I could find the Consumer Expenditure Survey. I had it right here. Where did I put it? Right there. Yeah, here we go. All right, sweet. So let's see what we come up with here. So this is Consumer Expenditure Survey tables, and we'll just click on one here and look as a PDF, and let's see if that shows up here. All right, sweet, good. That's exactly what I want to look at. Annual expenditures, characteristics of all consumer units. All right, so consumer expenditure survey. All right, so this is literally the best we got what people spend on, what their money on. And I know I probably hark on this too. Harp, whatever it is. Hark the Herald Angels sings. So what we're going to see here is we have income before taxes, income after taxes, and whatnot. All right. So all we care about is income. We'll run with income after taxes, but this isn't people who are retired. I just like to point this out for just a second. So basically, the average consumer unit, we're going to call it a household in 2019, has $71,000 of income after taxes. Now, that's not the median, that's the average. All right. The average age was 51 years old. All right. The average number of persons in said house was 2.5. All right. I hope this makes sense. The average number of persons in this house was 2.5. All right. So there's a method to my madness here, my friends. All right. And you can see, that's where the woman was actually older than the man. That's strange. As usual, because I'm 4 years older than my wife. In fact, I'm 52. My wife's 48. Interesting. All right. The average housing tenure, 2/3 of the people are homeowners, and 1/4 of the people who were homeowners had no mortgage. All right. We're just going to keep going down here. I just want to point out the average family consumer unit only spent $63,000. The average consumer unit only spent $63,000, even though the average consumer unit had income of $71,000. Isn't that interesting? All right. So with that said, $8,000 was how much they spent on food. 8,139 divided by 6,306, 12.9%, or we'll just say 13%. There's a method to my madness here, my friends. 13% was spent on food. We talked about this last time, but I cannot stress this enough why this is so important. What a 2019. Yet housing, again, was the biggest expenditure by far. Housing was 2.5 times the expenditures of food at $20,000 of only, $71,000 of total income and only $63,000 of expenditures. Housing was 1/3 of expenditures. All right. So when you're seeing these consumer unit expenditure surveys, does that applicable to you? No, that's what I'm talking about. It's not applicable to you. So we sit there and say, this is the best we got to identify what people spend. But the problem is, as I talked about last time, if we don't have a mortgage, this isn't applicable to us. I'm going to drill this through until people get it. It's like, this doesn't, why would I use 1/3 of my expenditures to something which I don't spend stuff on? All right, so now I'm going to stop that for a second. So I want to go back and I want to see if I can't find this chart that shows you the, hold on a second, BLS. Let's go down here to that's BLS. We're gonna. I'm probably not gonna. Man, I wish I could find that chart. I should have had it ready, but I didn't. Looking for consumer expenditure survey. Bear with me just a second, my friends. I'm looking for consumer expenditure survey where they show the decline. Hold on just a second. Don't get all angry. Don't get all angry yet. Consumer expenditure surveys. Oh, okay. Let's try this. Not really what I was looking for, but we're going to try it anyway. All right, so let's see what we got. We're going to try this one anyway. Hold on just a second. That's under 25. Don't want that. Hold on a second. Let me go back. Oh, okay. Let's go to 45 to 54. That'd be me. So here's 45 to 54 age group. There we go. Sweet. All right, income before or after taxes, $91,000. All right, so 45 to 54. This is your old buddy Josh. I'm 52. My wife is 48. So right there, this is literally Charlotte and me, 49.6 average. This is not Charlotte and me though, because we have a whole lot more than 3, but still. All right, let's keep going. Housing tenure. I'm a homeowner with a mortgage. Isn't it interesting? So, so 69% of the people in my category are homeowners. The majority by far of those homeowners have mortgages. Hope that makes sense. I'm drinking iced decaf coffee, which I enjoy. All right. So we all have mortgages. Hope that shows something. I hope you get where I'm going with here. So we spend $9,800 on food because we have bigger families than most retirees. $9,800 on total expenditures. So our expenditures are $76,000. My category. Everybody with me so far? $9,800 of that expenditures goes to food. Our income after taxes is $91,000. All right, so we have $15,000 that's just flying away. Again, this is me. This isn't you. If you're over, I think this is 54. Yeah. How much? Oh, housing. 23,000 is going to housing. Interesante, as we say in Espanol, isn't it? 23,000 of our expenditures, and our expenditures are what? 76,000. So over almost 30% of our expenditures go to housing. Interesting. 2,300 go to apparel. 12,700 go to transportation. 12,000 on 70,000 is what, 15% or something like that. Healthcare. That's not cheap. Interesting. All right. Personal insurance and pensions. Look at all that expenditures on personal insurance and pensions. Interesting. All right. So what's all that about? We're gonna keep hang in there, man. I'm making a point here. You guys got to hang in there. Be patient. Now, what would we do? 2000. Now let's go to 65 and older. All right. Again, we can't compare. Right. There's a way to compare 65 and older in the CES, the Consumer Expenditure Survey. I can't remember how to do it off the top of my head, but it's in there. Income after taxes, $48,000. Our income went way, way down. Well, because they're not working. Age of reference person, 74 years old. So 25 years older than what we were looking at before. 24 to 25. So we're looking at someone who is 49.6. Now we're looking at someone who's 25 years older. Average number of consumer units, 1.8. Less than half or something. I can't remember. All right, let's keep going. Homeowner, 80% are homeowners. Of that, 55% don't have a mortgage. See how it flips? See how it flips? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You see how it flips. Before, it was 52% of homeowners, and there are only 64% were homeowners had a mortgage. Now it's 80% are homeowners, and the majority of those homeowners have no mortgage. Hope that makes sense. All right, so let's go down. Oh, now we're spending less on food. Significantly less. 9,800 to 6,600. Why? Because there's less people to feed. Significantly less on shelter. Why? Because the vast majority of people have no mortgages, or if they have a mortgage, it's fixed. So it's not adjusted CPI. But anyway, you see where I'm going here. Mortgage, interest, and charges right there, $1,300. Property tax, $2,300. So let's go back. I just wish people would get. I know I'm butchering this. I'm just doing it, and I don't care. Mortgage, interest, and taxes. Right there. I'm not looking at the right year. You got to look at the right. Yeah, it is right year. What year is this? 2018-19. Right there, $4,100 in mortgage interest and charges. Another $3. So basically, $7,000 on mortgage interest and property tax versus this guy right here. How much is their mortgage interest and property tax? less than $3,600, so half. So they're spending, I don't know, 30% less on food, half less on mortgage, interest, and property tax, a lot less on apparels. Oh my lands, transportation, $7,500 again. Vehicle purchase net outlay. Why? Okay, but still $7,500 on transportation, where these guys are spending. Now I could do this all day long. I love this stuff. We're spending $12,000 on transportation. So, point being, I wish I could find the thing where I'm not gonna be able to find it. All right, so let me just pause for a second. I hope that's starting to make sense. Oh, wait a second. We can even go to 65 to 74. Interesting. 65 to 74. Income after taxes, 55,000. 80% are homeowners, but a majority, that's not a majority. So basically 49% of the people have no mortgage, all right? 30% have a mortgage and 20% are renting. So of the people who own a home, the vast majority have no mortgage. And the vast majority of the people who own a home had no mortgage, and the over 65. All right, let's keep going. These people spend about the same on food. This is 65 to 74. You can see their shelter's a little bit up, but as you get old, so I just want to point out something. Housing, 18,362. 18,362 if you're 65 to 74. Well, if you're 75 and older, what happens to your housing cost? 64% of all consumer units over 75 have no mortgage. 16% have a mortgage, 20% rent. 64% have no mortgage. Interesting. Foods dropped significantly because now we only have 1.6 people in the household because got a lot of widows. All right, let's keep. Look at that. Housing, property taxes, $774. Interesting. So you got mortgage. Well, that's mortgage interest and charges. Excuse me. So because vast majority of people don't have mortgage interest and charges. Look at that. $774. Property taxes, pretty, it's reasonable. $2,000. Maintenance. So the total spending on housing is $15,000. Significantly less than others because that right there has gone way down. Now, again, I don't like that we throw rented dwellings in for everybody. That doesn't make sense. But be that as it may, let's go to transportation. Hardly spending anything on apparel. What was their income? $37,000 after taxes. What was their consumption? $43,000. How could that possibly be? Because they're pulling money out of their portfolios. It makes sense. You got income 30. So people say they don't have enough to pay the bills. Yes, they do. Income after taxes, $37,000. Their total expenditures are $43,000. Makes sense, but still, $43,000. That's $3,500 a month. It's not like you're living large. Another thing too, just an FYI, they screw up the Census Bureau, the current population survey. They don't have a good gauge of income in retirement. They just don't, because if you look at the actual questionnaire, it's confusing as all can be. They basically don't know how to calculate in terms of, you just take money out of your IRA if you take it as an annuity, they get it. But if you just pull money out because of RMDs or just because you're taking money out, the questions don't lead people to understand they're being asked, are you taking money from your IRA? It says basically, are you taking it as an annuity or a retirement distribution, i.e. are you annuitizing it? And people are like, I don't know. And so this is way underreporting what actual income is. And we all know that. I've done videos on that a million times. Anyway, so be that as it may, they're only spending $43,000. It's because they're running out of money? No. It's because they don't have as much. Look at this. They got no freaking mortgage, the vast majority of them. Let's go transportation. They don't have to spend that much on apparel, $940 on apparel. Other than the grandkids. The transportation is, $5,500. The healthcare is a big one. Even that's not nearly as high as what a lot of people think it is. That seems right about right to me. About $550 a month. That's why I allocate my right capital. Entertainment. I mean, just this is the point: is that as you get old, let's see, we're all right. Money and income before taxes. We got Social Security right there, 26,000. Self-employment income, wages and salaries. So right here, interest, dividends, rental income, other property income, public, all this stuff. How do you calculate all that? Where? So we got source of income and personal taxes. Social Security, private government retirement. Okay. You see anything? Unemployment, workers' compensation, veterans benefits, other income, 130. Huh. Where does it say IRA distributions? Oh, by the way, personal insurance and pensions. They still got you spending $2,100 a year on personal insurance and pensions. Well, okay. I don't know that many people are doing that, but whatever. Anyway, so where's the money income before tax? Where's the IRA distributions? It's wages and salaries, Social Security, private government retirement. That's what I'm saying. Private retirement. What does that mean exactly? Does that mean IRA distributions? No, it's not in there. It's stupid. So the income sources are stupid because if this is what people say, they only have $37,000 coming in, but they're spending $40,000 a year. We're running out of money. Just people don't take the freaking second to look at the data. It just drives you at the wall. I hate that crap, dudes. Personal taxes. Some contains some imputed values. $2,300 or $2,200 to the feds, $300 to state. Wow, you're really getting killed tax wise. Other money receipts. Estimated market value of home, $232,000. The vast majority have no mortgage. All right. Estimated monthly rental value of home. Oh, there we go. That's how part of CPI. What would you expect your estimated monthly rental value is? $1,200. Okay, we're going to put that as a CPI component. Why? I don't know. To scare people? I don't know. Goods and services. I love this stuff, dudes. It's fun. All right, so let's see what kind of comments you guys have, because I guess where I'm trying to go with this. What we can see is that I got to find that freaking table, man. That chart. I'm not gonna be able to find it on the fly. There's a I won't be able to find it. Damn. Let me just hold on a second. Maybe it's under this different tab. Hold on just a second, guys. Hang in there with me. Don't get all. What happened? I clicked the wrong thing. Everybody still there? The Matrix got me. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see me again, because I clicked the wrong button. All right, cool. All right, so what we're gonna do here. I got too many damn bookmarks. I got too many things open. Maybe I should get on some ADHD stuff. I mean, I like who I am. Don't get me wrong. I just dude, I wish I could just stay focused on one thing at a time, but I just can't. And I'm pretty cool with it. I'm pretty cool with your old buddy Josh. All right, now that's not what I said before. There is a document they did in 2016. Ooh, the 5 generational columns are. Look. Oh, that looks good. I love that. Ooh, a generational table. Let's just see what this one is. I've clicked it before. I can't show it to you guys. Damn. All right, 1 second. Look at all this stuff. I love you, Bureau of Labor Statistics. Will you marry me? I wonder if the Bureau of Labor Statistics will marry, if we can go. Oh, I saw it right there. Oh, that's gone. I wonder if they'll let me go what's it called? Poly marriage or something like that. We can marry two people. I'll marry the BLS. They'll probably only marry me if I claim to be 57 flavors. I'll be happy to do that. I'll be happy to do that BLS. There we go. This is what I was looking for. Oh, yeah. Oh, now hold on just a second. I'm opening up this spreadsheet real quick. I just want to see if it has anything I want to share with you guys. If this stuff doesn't motivate you to freaking not freak out about your stupid retirement plan, I don't know what would. I'm just like sitting there thinking, why would I judge my, am I still on here? Yeah. Why would I judge my retirement spending expenditures on what I am pre-retirement? I've said this 1,000 times a Sunday, but it's like, why would I do that? It makes no sense. There's no evidence at all that Josh at 52 is going to spend the same as a Josh at 62. There's none. Show me the evidence. They don't have it. They don't have it. Ah! And I'm sitting there thinking, but healthcare, we're already using $5,500, $550 a month in healthcare. It's already in there. And the CES, it already shows that for healthcare. It's already baked into it, man. The only thing these guys are doing is trying to freaking make you be little, soldiers, the Prussian model of education, except we're put into employment. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I'll do that. I'll do it. Yes, sir. Just don't fire me. It's nuts. Once your freaking house is paid off, it doesn't matter. Ah. Finney's looking at me like I've gone crazy. I have, Finney. I have. All right, hold that. That's not quite what I was looking for. Where I just had a spreadsheet. Oh, there it is. Sweet. Okay, cool. Let me. I can't really see that very well. All right. Oh, that's a good spreadsheet, but all right, I'll have to look at that later. I haven't looked at it. All right, so let's go to this thing here real quick. If I can find it. Yeah, right there. And this is when I read this, it changed. I mean, I kind of knew, but this right here solidified everything for me. In 2016, old Ann Foster, I don't know if she's still a BLS or not, but a closer look at spending patterns of older Americans. This analysis, let's just read the whole thing here real quick. The article examines the spending patterns of households with a reference person aged 55 and older. Age 55 was chosen because the article focused on spending changes that occur as household members age and transition to retirement. Understanding expenditure patterns in later life is crucial to evaluating financial security in retirement. You hear that, Center for Retirement Research? You hear that? And you're citing the CES models, but you're not citing the CS models. You're not doing it. They're not you guys. These guys at Boston College and freaking the New School, and I don't know about HRS at University of Michigan and the University of Mass Boston Center for Gerontology, what the hell it's called. Understanding expenditure patterns later in life is crucial to evaluating financial security. This analysis uses integrated data from the 2014 CES, which separates the 55 and older to three different age groups: 55 to 64, 65 to 74, 75 and older. Housing is the greatest expense in dollar amount and a share of total expenditures for households with a reference person 55 and older. I cannot be clearer than this. Clothing and transportation spending and contributions for pensions and Social Security decline with the age of the reference person. You think? So I'm not going to spend as much on transportation, which is the number 2 largest spending according to CPI? Huh? If housing is the greatest expense and my mortgage is paid off, what is my big expense then? Yeah, maintenance, I get it. That ain't cheap. But it's not freaking 33% of my total expenditures. Property tax, I get it. It ain't cheap. It's not 33% of my total expenditures. Healthcare spending increases. Yeah. But what else? What else here? How about food? How about food consumption goes down as you age? Huh? Because now I have a family of 6. I only have 4 feeding 4 now, which is sad. Still, my heart's still melting. Chloe's kicking ass and taking names though. I love it. We FaceTime last night and it just makes me feel so good. Anyway, she's meeting friends. She has a philosophy class today. So I told her, so Chloe, because we all have, philosophical discussions, me and Chloe, I tell her about the moon landing hoax, and I tell her about people get mad when I say that. I don't care. It's fun. I tell her about the weapons of mass destruction hoax. I say, all this stuff. Talk about Ruby Ridge, talk about Waco. You know what I'm saying? We have all kinds of fun talking about it. And then, and she, talk about 57 flavors. She's not nearly as adamant about, my concern about 57 flavors as I am. She's more tolerant, but it's just fun. And she brings up a whole different way of looking at things than I do. And we have a lot of fun. Maddie and I have different discussions, actually. It's funny how, because Maddie's my computer scientist over at Georgia Tech, but Chloe's very interested in the philosophical, and she likes statistics, which I won't say she likes it, but she got in statistics class. She goes, "Oh yeah, it's pretty cool." I said, "Wow, girl, that's awesome." And we'll see. So I'm stoked, man. And I'm just so proud of my two little kids. Anyway, long story short, so I feed the boys last night, like I just said at the beginning of this. Friggin'. What used to take 6 families, 6 mouths, now it's 4, down to 4. Now I got 2 growing boys, so I ain't cheap, but and then of course they're more expensive on my auto insurance. But still, at the end of the day, I don't have to feed 6, which means we have less dishwashing to do, less food to cook, the whole thing. So food goes down a lot. And then when it's just me and Shar, dudes, we'll probably feed Pablo and Finney more than we eat. All I need is some meat. Well, dudes, I tell you, man. So if you weren't here at the beginning, I told everyone I went to Costco. I got $5.99 a pound of beef loin, New York. All right, cut is beef. I can't remember, but it's $5.99 a pound. So I sous vide it for 3 hours. All right, and it's the fat is so much. It's so good. It's a choice cut from Costco. Sous vide it 3 hours. It was literally about a quarter of a kilowatt hour is what my electricity consumption was. Cost about a nickel, if even that. Put it on the broiler, 5 minutes each side, done. And we had not just food for one meal, not just 2 meals, but thrice meals. Thrice, that means 3. And I got some for lunch, which I'll eat after I'm done here. Crazy. All right, so now when it's just me and Shar, dude, I'll eat that for probably the whole week, man. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. I won't be quite the carnivore, but the carnivores for me, I don't need much. Some meat, some of my own potatoes out there, and some ice cream. By the way, you see the price of potatoes, they've gone up way, way high. There's absolutely no reason you can't grow your own potatoes. None whatsoever. All right, anyway. All right, so let's go down here. So check this out, if you will. I want to go to expenditures. So you see we get age 55, 60 right here. We're going to look at these 3, and we're going to show you what happens to their expenditures. So we got 55 to 64, 65 to 74, over 75. Homeowner, 80, 77, 81, 80%. Homeowner with mortgage, 43%, 65 to 74. 30%, 70. This is 55 to 64, 65 to 74. 75 and older. Without mortgage, just flops. You can see it switches. All right. Annual expenditures. Right here. 56,000, 48,000, 36,000. Is it because these people are going broke? No, it's because they don't spend as much as they did earlier. We all know that. Older households spend $6,000 on food, ranging from $6,800, the younger you are, to below $4,300, the older you are. Let's see. This $4,300 spent by the 75 and older was statistically different from the amount spent by other age groups. So, all right. So, how do you inflate? All right. So, if we spend $6,800 on food when we're 55 and older, right? 55 to 64, and we inflate that, we'll just say 3%. How do we come up with 4,300 when we're 75 and older? How do we do that? It's impossible. If we spent $18,000 on housing and we inflate that at 3% a year, how do we spend $13,000 when we're older? It's impossible. If we spend $1,700 on clothing when we're 55 to 64, how do we spend $600 when we're 75 and older? Again, impossible. Transportation, healthcare. Healthcare went up. I'm using a 5.5% inflation adjustment on healthcare. Entertainment, way down. Pensions and Social Security. Oh, look at that. Way down. Why? Because we're not working. Bah! Other. Down. Everything is down. All right, then we're going to look at it. I think we got income on here. Yeah, we talked about income right here. We already talked about how jacked up it is because people don't know how to they don't calculate required distributions or IRA distributions in here. And people say, yeah, but Josh, you ran out of money. This is where, when I let me just see if I can't find that thing here real quick. I just wish people would. I just wish people would understand this. Maybe I need to do another video solely on this alone. Let's see if Ann Foster has written any other stuff here. Let's look at Ann Foster. I wonder who I tried to reach out to these guys a number of years ago to interview them, and they weren't mean or anything. Just like they're nervous about what they're gonna say. I don't see anything. Oh, 2019. Oh, here we go. The relationship. The relationship between cash contributions, pre-tax income, and age. All right. I have to look at that. Trade-offs and expenditure patterns of families with children. All right. I wonder if this is 2016 or is this could be more recently? Ann Foster, 2016. All right. So let's hold on a second, my friends. I'm going to show you something on Social Security. But I can't retire. Yeah, it ticks me off. I'm probably not going to be able to find this article on Social Security. I think that's it. Hold on a second. Yeah. Hold on just 1 second, amigos. Let me stop sharing real quick. All right, because I'm going to show you even how Social Security says they screw the pooch when it comes to calculating, not Social Security, but how the CPS calculates income incorrectly. And so Social Security doesn't use the current population survey for income when it comes to Social Security. Disappearing defined. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to find it. Hold on, Jen. Just look at this other one. Hold on just a second. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Let me click on this and see if this is it. I bet it's not. No. It's called Social Security. It was called Social Security. The website was the article was Social Security Facts and Figures. Social Security, and I'll look at what you guys are saying here in just a second. Social Security Facts and Figures. Shoot. Yeah, I have to look at it later. All right, I can't find it. All right. Anyway, so there you go. We know for a fact that the income defined via the Consumer Expenditure Survey, the current population survey, and as well as what they use in Social Security to allocate. Hey, we think the average retirement income is this is wrong. We know that it's not debatable. I've done videos on that. So that's incorrect. We also know for a fact that if housing is your biggest and transportation are two biggest expenditures when you're 55 and 64, as those things wind down, you can't adjust those up. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want, but to adjust those up with inflation makes absolutely no sense. That's a fact. So then the question is, how do we plan for retirement? And that's the issue. That's the issue. You have to have a gauge of what you think you're going to spend. And if you're using that, I'm going to spend the same amount as I do now because of inflation at 3%. I just don't. I don't think you should do that. I say, no, but I mean, how do you do that? There's no right answer here. That's the problem. People say, yeah, but Josh, potatoes are up, 89%. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but how many potatoes are you going to eat when you're 85 years old? Are you even going to live that long? Probably do another video on it because it gets a lot of views. And there's always new people cycling in and out about how long you're likely to actually last. And I've got a million emails like, Josh, that showed me more than anything about, how many people actually die, the numbers of people who actually die at a certain age, like but between 55 and 75, hundreds of thousands of people die. And people are like, whoa, for some reason it hits them hard. Did you know there's more right now? I think they said in the Q1 of 2022, we had 9,500 traffic fatalities already on the U.S. highways, which is like huge, like the most we've had since like 1984 or something like that. I'm wondering, and I got to be careful here, but I've had this thought in me, and I don't know it to be true. I'm just wondering if there's more like sudden cardiac arrest while people are driving. Be interesting to see how that shakes out. Anyway, if that is true, regardless, there's apparently in the first quarter, there's more fatalities on the roads than has been for many, many years. So one of the ways to avoid being an accident is to stay off the roads by not commuting, i.e. quit your damn job and either work from home or just retire outright. All right. Half a potato when you're 85. Right on, Bill. Yes. All the big firms know you'll live to 100 and will need their help to get. I minored in drama in college. Oh, man. Hey, Jeff retired at 50, man. Awesome. My federal taxes are higher than my Social Security taxes. Are you retired, Brian? Me and spouse skipping a meal and saving and healthy. Yeah, I might have done a video on this, but the lady said I think I did yesterday. She said she was having eyesight problems and then started eating better, and all of a sudden her eyesight became better. She got healthier and the whole thing. It's really amazing how crap that we eat the stuff we eat and digest in our bodies, how it can really, really, be horrible for us. It's just as sad, man. Excluding taxes, health care and wants, spending, travel, my core living expense look at that, dude. I mean, I just don't think we. Oh, am I being loud? Oh boy. Or is it? My property taxes are about 28% of my total annual expenditures. Wow, that's crazy. Where you live, Nan? That's nuts. Oh, by too loud. Sorry, Denise. Sensitive for non-family, single female households. The median, yeah, and median is what we want to look at. I'm not sure if that shows for expenditures or income. I'm not sure what that shows you. Check my blood pressure. Dude, my blood pressure is good. I'm pumped. Yeah, I don't get why would the BLS numbers be a political statement? I don't get it. Why would you think that? All right. Yeah, 100%. Research is a rabbit hole. Yep. Are we talking about mortgages? Where's Josh? Am I here? Okay, cool. Oh, because they nuked me. I got nuked. Not Pablo cut power. Oh man. That's what I see. Like this house up here, they just put it on the market like the other day. It's already under contract for a significant amount of money. Where the hell's the money come from? I don't get it, man. It's crazy. Gen G man, Gen G man. In retirement, but do you think we reasonably have a starting retirement expenditure? All right, so let's go. That's a good question. Let's go back to. I'm going to go back to Fire Calc. I personally am a huge fan of this, and I've talked about it Yeah, look at Gary. New York, right on, man. All right. Are you out? Are you out in Long Island? Is that you? I've had several friends die 1 to 2 years after retirement. Yeah, I've had a couple of people say that I had one guy. I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was a guy I met when I was going down the tour of the water treatment plant, and there's an old guy working there who's 80. And the guy's like, yeah, he didn't want to retire because he says, he knows like 6 people who died 6 months after retirement. So he's like, you know, he, so he equates the correlation to causation. Retire equals death. And I say, well, maybe they died 6 months after retirement because their work did not make them healthy. If that makes sense. Let's think about this. They retired and they were dead 6 months after that. Thus, retirement led to the death. I'm like, no, you could easily make the case that work led to the death because at work made them eat poorly, sit in the car all day long, be frustrated, intense, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing. And the ability not to relax and finally just got to them. 40 years of all that stress finally just took them out. And so you can look at, how, what they say, statistics lie, but I can't remember what the quote is. But anyway, you can say, look, so they retired, then 2 years, then 6 months later, they're dead. Thus, retirement equals death. I'm like, no, you can look at whole different ways that they worked to their death. They worked themselves to death. Hey, Dad, what's up? If retired, I think we're 100%, Randy. I cannot agree with that more. That makes complete sense. I call it the go-go years. So in fact, let me go back to Fire Calc. The go-go, the slow-go, and the no-go years is what I call it, 100%. So this is such a wonderful tool. And I hope I haven't used this in a long time. And you see, that's the thing is I forget that my channel comes, okay, because I watch people, you get an interest in somebody, you move after a while, you get interested in somebody else. And I forget the same thing happens to my channel, that I got to revisit stuff I've done 3 or 4 years ago to remind people that they can freaking retire, for heaven's sake. You know what I'm saying? And that's, I just got to remember to bring some of my old videos back. In fact, I just need to. And if you guys are, he's reposting stuff. I watch videos all the time for people who have channels for 8 or 9 years ago. They repost stuff. I'm like, I did not know that. And I'm going to do that. And I don't have, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't edit all this crap or anything like that. But I just think it's important. And I haven't done this Fire Calc in a while. So if some of you guys are old, crusty old veterans to my channel, you'll recognize this. But just if you're not, this is the best tool to use. And I tell you, this guy right here. Thinking of chucking it all and retiring early, long before you start getting a pension. All right, right here, we're gonna go down here to the spending models. I want to show you because I haven't looked at this for a couple of years. Right here, hold on just a second. All right, let's go to the spending models right here. All right, yes. This right here, this guy named Ty Bernicki out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This guy changed my life. If you are watching this and I'm encouraging you or have changed your life, it's because of Ty Bernicki. Ty Bernicki should get whatever the hell it is for financial planning, should get the Nobel Prize. I actually emailed him a couple years ago, and he was very nonchalant. He just like, hey, thanks, man. I was like, dude, you don't understand how big of an impact you've had. He's like, just a humble guy. So he had written this article, Bernanke's Reality Retirement Plan, which it changed everything for me. And I think they got the link to it. Maybe not. I thought they did. Anyway, you can read it in the FPA, the financial planning, the JFP, the Journal for Financial Planning. The point being is, he said basically all his elderly clients weren't spending enough. And all this planning he was doing was based on the assumption that their expenditures would rise with inflation. He goes, that's literally not what happened. Not only is it not rising with inflation, it's actually dropping the older they get, which meant they either work too long because, we have to adjust for inflation as I get older, or they didn't spend enough money on the front end, like Randy Jackson said. Enjoy it while you're 62 to 75. And he goes, I have the anecdotal evidence in his own clients. And then he dove into what we're doing here, the consumer expenditure survey, the BLS stuff. He said, this is true. It turns out, I was stunned. I was reading this in Journal for Financial Planning. I was like, holy crap. And it makes sense. It turns out there's a couple of professors, I almost want to say from Arizona or Arizona State, who kind of briefly touched on this in the 90s, the late 90s. I didn't ever hear about that. And I didn't hear about it until Ty Bernanke talked about it. And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, I mean, probably 10 years later, Blanchett, who I'm a big fan of David Blanchett. We've traded emails back and forth. He used to write for Morningstar, maybe 2012, maybe 13, Blanchett, Wade Fowle, Finke, something like that. A couple of these guys, I'm missing a guy, started talking about it. Then Jonathan Guyton had written about the guardrails, but he wasn't writing so much about the expenditures. They're more writing about how you protect your assets for the sequence of return risks and all that. But it wasn't many who are writing about the expenditure side. Now, Wade has gone deep into that. He actually has a new podcast episode out that I like. Hold on a second. I still can't get over. 1/4 kilowatt hour for 3 hours of sous vide at 145. That's how freaking cheap it is electricity wise to run a Ninja Foodie to sous vide your meat. It's insane to me, man. But it's just, the dollar isn't worth anything, Josh. Oh my goodness. In 1900, you could not get 1/4 kilowatt hour, a nickel, to cook 3 hours of food. It's insane. How you can't be freaking just. This is the whole point. The Build Back Better crew won't affect you if you're already reducing your consumption. Not your consumption that you're like, oh, you're reducing your consumption because you're being wiser with your money. Not that you're like, I don't need the highfalutin stuff. I got everything I need right here. My t-shirt, my dogs, my wife, my outside garden. That's all I need. My Fuji Ninja, my Foodie Ninja Foodie, my Traeger, my gas grill. I'm good, man. I'm good. My mortgage paid off, which is not. That's all I need. Like, I'm not flying to freaking Europe. Europe kissed my big fat shiny behind. I'm not flying to freaking Hawaii again. Hawaii kissed my big fat shiny behind, getting rid of their coal. Like, we're not getting coal anymore. Well, screw you, Hawaii. That doesn't mean I love you people in Hawaii. Your government sucks, donkey. You know what? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just, you don't have to live large to live fun, to be comfortable. You don't have to have the expenditures. When Build Back Better comes around, they say you're going to decline in your lifestyle. You're like, dude, I've already declined my lifestyle. Why? Because I don't need all your crap, Sniffy Joe. You know what I'm saying? I don't need it all. I'm chilling, man. I got my beautiful wife. I got my freaking crazy, wonderful dogs. My kids are kicking ass and taking names. Oh, let's just say a prayer. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, oh, for your bounty that you shine on us, please, 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 I just ask you, let us always remember the bounty that you had given to us. And the spark of life you had given to us, a miracle that is your creation. And here we are together, can we always remember to be glorying in your name for everything we do, to give you the glory, never to be fearful, to know that you reign supreme over everything, no matter what happens, God, you are in control. Time's going to get tight. When we always still please, we ask for the power to just remember your glory is everything. Nothing else matters, Lord. And when those times get tight, as no doubt they will, and sadness, fear comes, can we always just get on our knees and turn to you? So remember, you are in charge. And whatever happens is all according to your plan. We pray in Jesus' name, amen. One thing I am trying to do is be more and more grateful for the bounty that we have. Because God is good always, man. And it's not just good because he's blessed us with material things. In fact, if anything, that's where we start getting away from God because we're living so good. We don't need God, man. God is for those poor schmucks in Africa. We don't need God. We're living large. Anyway, so what was I just saying? I forgot what I was saying. All right. So anyway, now we're gonna go back to Ty Bernicki's. I'm drawing a blank here. All right, let me go share the screen with you. All right. So let's go back here. Firecalc.com. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go here. How will our money last? We're going to use Bernicki's reality retirement plan. And what happens here is, all right, we're going to say if selected, this option will reduce your inflation adjusted yearly spending by 2 to 3% per year at 56 and then stabilizes at 76. All right. Now, I personally don't like it at that age. My preference would be it should stabilize. It should stop dropping when you're about 65, maybe 70. That's what I do in Right Capital. I say once you hit 70, I think it's 70, your expenditures stop dropping. I only use I can't remember what I use. Off the top of my camera. But anyway, not much. But so they're basically saying if you spend 100,000 just for simplicity, and we're inflated at 3%, you're going to spend 103,000, but we're going to reduce it by 2 to 3% per year starting at age of 56. Inflation adjusted yearly spending. We're still inflating it. Your items are costing more, but the amount of items you buy are going down because as you age, you spend less, if that makes sense. So I don't like their years of doing this just because I think 56 is too young, but it's cool. It's all good. And then they stay at 76. It'll flatten, it'll keep up with inflation. All right. Anyway, so I'm a fan of that. I just, again, we can challenge the specifics of it, but let's just go back. So now what we're going to do, that's what we're doing here. We're going to say I have $750,000. I'm going to take $30,000 a year out of my portfolio, and that should give me, I think, 30 divided by 750, 4%. So we don't want that. We want 5%. So 750 times 5%. We're going to take 37.5. Pablo, where are you? Everyone's asked for Pablo. We're going to live for 30 years. I challenged the 30-year thing, but we're going to run with it. All right, now we're going to. And then let me show you what else we're doing here. We're going to go to, we're going to use CPI as our inflation. All right. We're going to put current age, let's say 65. Let's say 60 because 30 years. All right. Blank. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to come into our portfolio and we're going to use a total market going back to 1871. Yeah, I don't want to do, you can do whatever you want, but we got percentage of your portfolio that's in equities. We got 75% equities, and then the rest is the long interest rates. I don't want to do that. Let's do, we'll do 50-50. And this is using historical returns, which I don't like, but random performance. Oh, here. Oh, I actually like this. Let's do this instead. I like this a lot better. All right, let's do a random performance of, we'll say 8% and a standard deviation. There you go. So we're going to have an average rate of return of 8%, a standard deviation of 10, and we're going to use an inflation of 2.5. Again, you can change these numbers any way you want. It's freaking awesome. It's free. You should donate to them. And we're going to spend 18 basis points on fees. All right, so basically what we're doing here is we got 50% in stocks, 50% in bonds. No, we're not. We're using this right here. We're basically saying our portfolio will give us 8% rate of return, but a standard deviation of 10%. That seems a little bit high. Let's do a 6% rate of return, a standard deviation of 10%, and inflation of 2.5. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the results, and I don't know what's going to be. So let's see. And again, you can do the same way you want. As you know, I do not like using historical rates of return. I think historical rates of return are way overly optimistic. But here are the results here. All right. So, yeah, right here. So basically following the reality. Oh, okay, sweet. They do have his research right here. Oh, yeah, fantastic. So here's the article right here, and I'm going to show it to you. No, I guess I'm not going to show it to you. Is it going to let me show it to you? No. No, it just takes me to the FPA. And the FPA, Financial Planning Association, who does the JFP, Journal for Financial Planning, They went woke and they should be going broke because they can kiss my big fat behind too. In 2015, 16, something like that, they had a big article, front page article about critical race theory. Just before anyone knew what critical race theory was, I did because I know what Marxist ideology is, and I know what liberation theology is, and critical race theory is 100% Marxist ideology. We know that for a fact. And I remember when I was on Facebook, and I dropped my membership and said no. And I posted on the some Facebook thing that had financial planners that said any group that espouses critical race theory is Marxist, and they're racist, Marxist, and I don't want anything to do with it. And you should have heard the vitriol that came at me by all these white women, man. It was funny. I said, young white women, you know what I'm saying? All these young white women, a couple of blacks. And I was like, whatever, dude. But the white women are like, I remember I got in an argument with some chick. I said, I said, you ever listen? We got into about racism. I said, they're talking about, I can't remember this. I said, have you ever listened to Ice Cube racism? You ever heard? I quoted some from Ice Cube, the rapper. I said, yeah, why aren't you upset about Ice Cube racism? Because he didn't like Koreans, and I don't know if I don't know, but he is popular mainstream music. There he is. Come on, baby. And I said, how come you're not quoting Ice Cube? He goes, well, she said, well, I don't know his story. So I said, you're busted, lady. You know, you're a racist piece of crap. I didn't say that, but I'm like, you're busted. The issue is you don't know, you're so afraid to be called racist that whatever a black person does, you feel is okay. Literally, you cannot call racism for what it is unless you can put it on a white person. I said, Ice Cube was racist. No two ways around it. Here's the quotes, racism. But she could not do it. She goes, but I don't know his story, man. I was like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not black, so I can't comment. I said, if you're not black, you can't comment on racism? Okay, that's interesting. But yet you did for me. Well, because you're white. Gotcha. The soft bigotry of low expectations, said George Bush when Matthew Dowd was a speechwriter. When Matthew Dowd used to be somewhat legit. Now he's a clown. But I'll never forget that. I said, because look, I've been around liberal whites for my whole life. I get it. They're the biggest piece of racist crap you'll ever meet. Liberal whites, they're horrible, because they don't want to call racism for what it is, which is the hatred of people based on skin color. Nothing more, nothing less. If you don't like people because of their skin color, you're a racist. Now, the real racism wasn't that. Actually, I don't want to get too deep in this, but it's very interesting. The real racist was just to protect one's culture. Of American Indians were racist that they want to protect the American. I forgot what tribe it was, Hopis or something like that. They want to protect their tribe from the white men, basically taking away their culture. And so the general, I forgot the general, but it says, "Oh, these guys are racist," i.e., they don't want our language and our culture being forced upon them, and somehow that became to be a bad word. But in the current vernacular, the biggest racists are white liberals. No other way around that. Anyway, so I dropped the JFP, the Journal for Financial Planning, and the Financial Planning Association, because I said I'm not going to affiliate with anything that promotes this crap, because it's pure racism, man. No other way around it. I'm sure the FBA still is. All right, so here we go. FireCalc looked at 221 possible 30-year periods. Now, we've talked about this before. I don't like that, because how many 30-year periods are unique going back to 1871? What, 4? That's it. But they're running they're running rolling 30-year periods, and I again, there's a lot to challenge on this, but it works. I mean, I don't like it, but at the end of the day, I know exactly what they're doing, and it's pretty cool, man, because they're showing you that if your spending drops, even with a 6% rate of return, and I think at a 10% standard deviation, you're still running out of money. How many times? 5.4%. That's it. So I have 221 rolling 30-year periods. Only 12 periods fail because of the significance of your money, your reduction in expenditures as you get older. Now, would you put that to the bank? No, but it's a good way to look at it. This is the issue. Remember, well, in this case, it might be legit, because we're running a standard deviation of it's not a true it's not a true random sequence of events because we're running 221 30-year rolling periods with my own. I don't know, that might be okay. I got to think that through a little bit because we're having a 6% rate of return, 8%, 10% standard deviation, 2.5% inflation. So we're running truly a Monte Carlo, not based on historical rates of return, just based on what I feel. And we're running, I can't remember how many scenarios, 1,000 different iterations or something like that. I guess we're running 221 iterations, of which 12 failed and the rest were successful. That's pretty good. And that's with the 5% reduction or 5% spending composition as well. Yeah, and that's with only a 6% rate of return, man. Yeah, I think that is legit. Yeah, either way, it's freaking awesome. It'll change everything. So anyway, when Bernicki came around, that's decaf. If you're wondering like why I'm so amped, because I love the afternoon streams. I'm freaking fired up, dudes. Love this stuff, and I love talking about consumer expenditure survey stuff and the BLS because it's the proof. It's the proof that you can do this. For heaven's sake, if anyone would just listen, I need the proof. Yeah, okay. It's the proof you can do this. Anyway, the point being with Bernanke, so that came out because we've always been taught 4% a year adjusted for inflation. You need to have your number, your retirement number. And Bernanke came out and he said, no, this is not what I'm finding. Oops. He said, no, I'm finding that as people age, they spend less. And then they die with too much money, too few memories and too much money because they were under the assumption of the models. And then Jonathan Clements at the Wall Street Journal. Now, I forgot the news guy's name who replaced him, another English guy. It's weird because Murdoch is English or Australian. I can't remember. But anyway, Jonathan Clements is an English guy or some guy from overseas, England or Australia, all the same thing. If you're offended by that, pipe down. Matt Ridley, he didn't replace Clements, but there's another guy who replaced Clements, Jason Zweig, I think. And so Matt Ridley is another English guy. And then I think it's Jason Zweig replaced Clements, another English guy. I'm like, what? We don't have any Americans to do the job there, Murdoch, because Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. Doesn't he? Yeah, I think Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. Does Murdoch? Anyway, be that as it may. And so Jonathan Clements, who is a chief guy, anti-financial advisor, because we can sell you stuff at the Wall Street Journal. You don't need to hire a financial advisor. You just do it on your own. That's essentially what the their thing was, their sales pitch. If just read the Wall Street Journal, you can manage your own money. And the Wall Street Journal had a lot of good tidbits in there. But he took Bernanke to task by saying, well, the reason their spending goes down is because they're running out of money. And Bernanke was a lot more Bernanke just a more humble. What's the thing? Volley back on Clements than I would have been. I said, "Where's your evidence?" I mean, literally, the first thing when they say this stuff is, "Where's your evidence?" Yeah, and that's like when China put a moon lander on the moon. I said, "Where's your evidence?" Well, there's a picture. Oh, okay. So that picture of the moon lander on the moon from China is your evidence that the Chinese have had 7 moon landers on the moon in the last 15 years. Yes. Okay. Crazy. And the same thing here. And Bernanke didn't do that. I think Bernanke was kind of taken aback by, it wasn't vitriol, but the level of Clements's dispute of Bernanke's findings. Because Bernanke was just a financial advisor, just some schmuck in Milwaukee. And Jonathan Clements is writing for the Wall Street Journal, for heaven's sake. And I remember reading the volleys, and I said, between Clements, and it wasn't like bad. It was just like Bernanke was way too accommodating to Clements. I would not have been. I said, because Clements' whole challenge on Bernanke, he's like, yeah, it makes sense. Well, yeah, I get this, but the reason these people run out of money is obviously the reason these people are spending less is because obviously they're running out of money. And I would have been, well, how do you know that? Where's your evidence? I'm literally showing you evidence, my own anecdotal evidence, empirical, and my research I've done on BLS. Where is your evidence, Clements? And Clements, I don't know, he wouldn't have had any. He would have cited freaking Teresa Giard Geldy, that chick from the New School, or the people from the Centers for Retirement Research at Boston College that our models say we're all going to be broke. Only 40% of people can successfully retirement based on our models. I say your models sound like the climate change models, all full of crap there, Michael Mann. And they'd be like, no, it's our models. Our models are better than anecdotal or empirical evidence. No, anyway, so Clements went on to bigger and better things, which is to be, I think, the board member for creative planning. The whole thing's crazy, and I don't know what Bernicki's doing. He's managing money, or so he might. I mean, I don't know. But point being was this. There's a big shot across the bow against the financial porn media, and then the idea of 4% a year adjusted for inflation. This right here, and is now just it's not even. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to show you the Wade Fowle podcast here. Hold on a second, because he had a new one that just came out that I want to listen to. It's called "Retire with Style." Is the Wayne Fowle podcast, and anyway, so if I can get it to open.
The purpose of Retire with Style.
Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, right here, and I think he's got in this one. That's I can't remember who he's got on this one. Wade, Alex, and Bob. I'm not sure who Bob is. I forgot, but this is where they're talking about instead of using Monte Carlos, they look at funded ratio, and I haven't listened to it yet, but it seems interesting to me. And I don't listen to that much financial planning stuff because most of it's just silly. Most of it, I just don't listen. It bores me. If I hear again how the economy is being ruined because of the Fed. It just is so trite. It's so boring. The Federal Reserve, the idea that the economy isn't being ruined because of Fed. The economy is being ruined because we have taken cheap energy for granted, and that's what's ruined the economy. And it's not, but even that is not being ruined because we're not going Sri Lanka, man. It's just not going to happen. I mean, anything could happen, but come on. 330 million people in America aren't going to sit there and allow us to have no electricity. It's just not, it's silly. But that doesn't mean the globalist cabal isn't in charge. They just are. But the only way you deal with them is to remove yourself from it and get out of the rat race, man. You know what I'm saying? Pay off your debt, eat good quality food, have some dogs, have a loved one who you love, get healthy, and just stop worrying about this stuff and pray to God. That's the most important thing. Get on your knees and say, good Lord, I am whatever. Be Job, man. I don't want to be Job. I'll tell you that right now. But that's it. That's all you can do. All right. So that's pretty much what who knows what's going on with YouTube. So I don't know what happens with there. I haven't really had a schedule, but I'm thinking I kind of like the Sunday nights and then the Tuesdays and Thursdays noon. I like this actually. I enjoy it immensely. I was taking my walk. I was thinking about this. Like I was actually very much looking for. I didn't know what I was going to talk about until I was doing my walk. I said, I want to talk more about the CS Consumer Expenditure Survey numbers. So I don't really have a. Yeah, he does. Okay, I got you. So what's the name? Murdoch owns the Wall Street Journal. Yeah. I don't have a necessary schedule, but I think I'm gonna, man. I enjoy this immensely. Oh, by the way, I'm not gonna. So I had a guy reach out to me. He seemed like a nice guy. He has 43 financial assets, or his assets were less than $500,000. I played with the idea of working with people in that area. I'm not gonna do that. It bores me. This sounds bad, but I like retirement planning. And retirement planning is what I like to do. And so anyway, I was going for my walk because this guy had all these questions for me. And I don't feel like working with people that aren't that close to retirement, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds bad and arrogant, but I don't get any motivation at all by, talking to people who are, 15, 20 years out. I don't. And even it doesn't, it's not fun for me. And retirement planning is fun for me, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyway, so just as if anyone's on here who's heard me talk last week, I was thinking about expanding my services to people under 50 who have less than $500,000 for $500. I'm not doing that. And I appreciate my man email me on that, just because it solidified that doesn't have any appeal to me whatsoever. Retirement planning does. And I like to slay the dragons, but just as an FYI. Yeah, right on, Annette. I don't know how close to retirement. I mean, what I'm saying there, who's that? Don. I don't know what that means, how close to retirement. But initially, I was going to reduce my fee for these people just because I wanted to be more helpful to people, and I want to make some money. I'm not going to lie to you, but it's not worth it to me. So my fee is, if you have less than $1 million, regardless of your age, my fee is $1,250. If you have over $1 million, when I say $1 million, that's net worth. Net worth. That's your house and your investments minus your debt. That's what net worth is. If you have over $1 million in net worth, then my fee is $2,500. Now I will work with people who are far out from retirement. They'll just have to pay that fee. The issue is I'm not so sure it's worth it because there's not that much we really need to discuss, frankly. You got to make sure you got your durable power of attorney. You should have some life insurance, pay off your debt, and invest in a nice diversified portfolio. I'm not going to tell you to invest in GE versus Tesla. I'm not going to do any of that. So the whole point was I talked to this lady who worked in Iowa. It just kicks ass and take names. And we had a great conversation, and I gave her money back because there's no way that our chat was worth the fee for her. And I started saying, yeah, but I got to get paid for time. So maybe I should open up to people but I don't enjoy that. It's not that I hated it. It's not, it's not I'd rather be looking at consumer expenditure survey numbers. Let's put it that way. I know it's like a $500. Well, you're getting $500 for an hour and a half of time. Yeah, but it's not fun for me. I'd rather spend my time looking at CES and BLS and Social Security data than helping somebody who's 37 years old, who's just wondering, what they can do to get on the right track. Because the way you get on the right track is just pay off your debt, spend less than you got coming in. Make sure you have some term life insurance. Make sure you have your estate docs in order, life insurance, beneficiary designations, and whatnot. And lastly, too, and then we'll get out of here. I am going to put a sale. I don't think I've ever done this on my retirement planning course. All right, so I've always hate with a passion when people put a sale on a course that other people have bought, or people put a sale on a product that other people have bought full price. So I am going to do a sale on my retirement planning course because that would be better for these people who are in that age, say 42 years old and whatnot. If you have bought my retirement planning course for full price, the next course I do, I will give you a half price on that. So just as an F, and I'm going to email that to everybody as well. So, because it pisses me off when I buy something full price and 2 weeks later it's half price. It's like, man, I feel like I got rooked. But I do want to get, and and also the course is 4 years old now, or it's 4 years old. So I am going to do my retirement planning course. I'm going to have a sale on that, 50% off, 30 days. I don't know. But if you bought my course at full price, all right, I will honor a 50% off for the next course I do. I haven't started working on it yet, but it's going to be Roth conversions and whatnot. And when I do that, you just email me, say, and I don't care. You can lie and say I bought the course. I'm not going to validate if you bought. I don't care. People can do whatever they want to do. Everything's karma related. You know what I'm saying? So if you have purchased the course at full price and later in the road I do a course, you just email me, say I want when I have the course ready. It's not ready. It's not even close to ready. It's not even in the infancy yet. But later when I do the course, you will get a fat price, if that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. All right. Hey, thanks, man. So much of the course is worth it. Yeah, right on, Andrew. Hey, I want to apologize, Andrew. I was kind of I don't want to say harsh, but Andrew was saying something about the donut hole the other day, and I was like, man, I kind of felt like I was being a dick. I didn't mean to be a dick. I was like, anyway, when you're doing these things, sometimes you can come across like a little bit more. And so, Andrew, my apologies to you if I came across as a dick. I did not mean to. I was like, I don't know, it's like I just felt like when I got off the thing, I had a bad taste in my mouth towards you, and I apologize for that. So believe it or not, sometimes I can come across as an asshole, and I literally don't mean to be. And if I do come across sometimes curt, and part two of this, some of you guys will email me, and I'll email you pretty directly back. And if I come across curt, I'm not trying to be. I'm just, I just want to get to the point, man. If that makes sense. So sometimes people say, blah 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 blah, and I'll email back 2 or 3 sentences, and I'll say, hope this helps, and that's it. Hopefully that doesn't rub people wrong. That there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, hey, how's Pablo? Or the Red Sox suck. I don't even know if the Red Sox do suck. I think they do this year. Or I got a friggin' whatever. I got all these, monkeypox or some of that, just as an FYI. When it comes to emails, I can be kind of direct, and I just want to be clear there. All right, right on. My man Robert Plantain. Oh no, I said Robert. Look, I got out of the rat race, out of debt, living on needs basis, waiting for audit to find out why I'm not dependent on government handout. I don't get that. Okay. Well, you're in Philippines, right? So you can retire. I mean, anyone can retire. All right. Anyway, so right on. So schedules will help. I think that's right. So, oh my goodness, look at the baby. Your people are only here to make sure Pablo's okay. Oh my. Sarcasm a little thick, because I don't know what your question, what you said there. I don't get it. Why was I don't get it. You said I'm only waiting on the audit to find out why I'm not dependent on. I don't know what that means. So where's the sarcasm? I don't know what that means. So how's that sounding sarcastic? Oh my goodness. Look at him. This is Randy. He's half Dachshund and half Chihuahua. So he is a Chiweenie, and he's basically, I'm his food giver. So he looks at me as like a plate of meat. And everyone's jealous because I'm the one who gets up, feeds them. I'm the one who takes them for a W. Don't want to say it because they'll go crazy. And Pablo just says, I'm the food giver. So he looks at me, like in the Looney Tunes, where Sylvester looks at Tweety like he's a steak. That's what Pablo looks at me. Here's the other one right here. This is Finnegan. And Finnegan is just sleeping like a big old baby. And he's somewhat of a Rhodesian Ridgeback / hound of some sort. We don't know what he is. All right, on. All right, Robert says my sarcasm. All right, gotcha. Right on. All right, good. All right, so Deb says, I'm mostly cash, 69 years old. I work 10 hours a week. That's what I'm talking about. She works 10 hours a week. Look at Deb's dog. She works 10 hours a week. Is that retired? You tell me. Not Deb, but you tell me. That's freaking awesome. What's for so Landman, if you are on so 12 of you guys are on the Josh Scanlon YouTube page, and 110 are on the Heritage Wealth Planning page. So the live chat is probably going to be on the Heritage Wealth Planning page, if that makes sense. So you definitely want to go to there instead to see the gotcha. All right, Robert, right on. Gotcha. I thought you were talking. I said, I don't. Okay, understood. So Robert is waiting on IRS audit to see why my. That doesn't sound. Oof. Yeah, we Chiss and bully breeds. I don't get what Chiss and bully breeds. I don't know what that means. What is that? Yeah, I would not want to be in your shoes waiting on the IRS. Tonight we're getting Moe's. They have a $5 coupon on a family fajita thing at Moe's, so we're getting that tonight. I did sous vide some chicken breast, and I'll go ahead and vacuum seal those up here shortly, and I'll put them in the freezer for future use. Yeah. All right. Robert's Chihuahuas right on it. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, Chihuahuas and bully breeds at the moment. Actually, I tell you, I just read that right on, Land. There you go. And the only reason I do it on my Josh Scanlon YouTube channel at some point, I'm sure I'll be banned from this, and then I'll just swing on over there. So if you haven't subscribed to my Josh Scanlon, I don't post that much, and I probably should. I don't have enough focus. But anyway, it just if I'm ever banned from here, just go to the Josh Scanlon. I'll be there until they ban me there. But I usually don't post that. The scary thing about the live stream is you can say something that could come back and bite you in the butt, if that makes sense. So like my man Curtis Stone, the urban farmer, he always takes his live streams down because he's because he gets deep into the gravy, and when you start going down into the rabbit hole of gravy of looking at the world for what it is, not as what we've been taught, you could quickly find yourself on the ban list. That's for sure. Shish kebab, yeah, it was all right. Yeah, oh, big green eggs. Oh man. So anyway, we just saw an article or a report in the news here that they're going to have to euthanize all these dogs. There's not enough people getting them, from the shelters there. Does anyone know? Do they actually do that? So one of my kids said, "Do they actually euthanize the dogs? If they maybe Angie? Does anyone know? Does shelters actually euthanize them when they've been I don't know, when they don't find a home in a certain amount of time?" Because thanks. Yeah, right. Look at that. This way you do it right here. My man Scott. I smoked 40 pounds of pork shoulder a few months ago. I freeze it in bags and I'll ask my wife, that's what 100%. And how much that 40 pounds cost? I mean, you literally, Angie, they actually, okay, Jeff says the same thing. They actually euthanize the dogs at you got 30 days and then you're gone. Is that what it is? I mean, you guys, you literally think that's true, or just? I mean, I'm not saying you have to wash, but just they got 30 days, and if they don't get adopted, they're done for, huh? I mean, or what is the time frame? I wonder how many people. Oh, man, yeah. All right, there's enough people saying. Oh. So literally, if I didn't get Finney and Pablo in a certain amount of time, they were. Ugh, I was gonna make me start tearing up, dudes. You know what I'm saying? Because freaking Fritz Gilbert from the Retirement Manifesto, him and his wife Jackie took us out to lunch at Blue Ridge. They just happened to walk by the parking lot, where the parking lot in Blue Ridge, Georgia, where on a Saturday morning they have the rescue shelter for dogs, and they call it the barking lot. We just happened to walk by after eating some lunch over there. Fritz and old Finney was laying there in his crate, just laying there, minding his own. And Charlie said, "He's cute. I wonder if I can pick him up." The guy who was because Jackie, who's Fritz's wife, is very active as a foster mom or whatever. And the guy said, "Sure." So he reached in there, picked up baby Finney, and Finn just went like this to Charlotte. Nope, looked right on her face, and the rest is history. And there he is. And the amount of joy, you all know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But the amount of joy these two knuckleheads bring to us is insanity, man. And I was on my walk, a golden doodle walked by, and I love golden doodles. They're like literally the cutest thing since the dawn of mankind. But they're not cheap, man. I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm not here to judge, but it's like, man, if happiness is why you get a dog, you just go to your local shelter because you can get happiness and save the money. And I'm not if you get a golden doodle, I'm not here to chat. I love golden doodles. They're freaking cute as can be. But I'm just looking at these two guys. It's like, man, yeah, I'm talking about you. And then I read last year that they couldn't find, they had a scarcity of dogs because everyone was adopting during the lockdowns. I just wonder how many of those people are now giving the dogs back up. Like, yeah, I tried it for a month, but it didn't work. That's how we got Pablo. Pablo was another family for a month, and she said, "Oh, he's too hyper." And we're like, Pablo? Like, this ain't hyper, man. I mean, he had a little bit of zoomies when he's a pup, but not much. That ain't hyper. I was like, what do these people do? They rent a dog for a month to see if they like it, then they return it. What the hell is that? But for us, it's great. It was divine intervention. Yeah. All right. Tom says we got double doodles. Yeah, oh, 100%. Like, do not take this wrong. We know people got golden doodles, and oh my goodness, we have one of my wife's friends had a golden doodle named Ginger, or Georgia. Such I freaking love that dog. The cutest dog you've ever seen. I am not at all against people spending money on golden doodles or whatever. I don't care. This is not to challenge people, because I know people can do that. Oh, how dare you get a breeded dog? No, I'm not here to judge. I'm here for happiness. Happiness in your internal household is worth more than anything else. And if it takes a golden doodle to make the wife happy, then a golden doodle it is. So I'm just walking. Oh my goodness. It was funny. Anyway, so Georgia the golden doodle. So apparently I wasn't there, but I guess they lived here in Georgia, and they had a pizza out there one time, and I guess something happened outside. They ran outside to go see what happened, and they came back, and Georgia had eaten the entire pizza. The entire pizza. I thought that was the funniest thing. Oh my goodness. And then Georgia is such a silly goose. And so we go over there, watch a football game or something like that. And they had these two cats like on this balcony thing that overlooked the living room. The cats are just plotting how to get George. Because Georgia's just not the brightest bulb, let's put it that way. And these two cats are up there just plotting. We're gonna get George. Just staring at her. We're gonna get you, Georgia. It was, oh my goodness, it was so funny. Yeah. Oh no. Lots of dogs return to shelter after COVID due to separation anxiety. No, yeah, jeez. It's going to BWW. I don't know what's BWW Rex. Scotch just got home from 7 weeks of vacation up north in Adirondack Mountains. We averaged about 600 weeks lodging. Dude, look at that. 7 weeks. All right, but you were living under the stars, or did you actually have a place did you have electricity and stuff, Scott? Buffalo Wild Wings. Gotcha. Yeah. Right on, man. Research the breed of dog. Yeah, because Pablo here turns out all these dachshunds are just like Pablo. They just love sitting on laps. And I always thought lap dogs meant that they were so fast they literally lapped you, until I got Pablo, and I realized that's what a lap dog is. He literally sits on your lap. I said, oh, I always thought it meant like the dog racing thing, or they lap. No, he literally sits on my lap. That's what he does all day long. Sits on my lap. Look at him. It's literally, it just sits on my lap. All he looks at me is like Tweety Bird. He's Sylvester, I'm Tweety Bird. Tent camping. Oh, no way, dude. Oh, that does not sound fun at all. Tent camping in the wilderness, DEC remote campsites. I don't know what that means either. I don't know what all these Georgia varies. Okay. He really is. He's waiting on his. Look at him. He's like, no, if Finney's over here snoring, Pablo was just looking at him like, what the hell's going on there? Camping to lorries where they don't put them in. So I just watched a video about the Allagash, Maine, and apparently there's a place up there, Allagash something, and I guess they have these rental places. I meant to look it up actually, so that sounds pretty good. I'm not a camper, man. I mean, I did my living under a hooch in the military and the army. Don't want to ever do it again. I've taken many a poop where I'm holding on to a tree. Don't want to do it again. No desire whatsoever. But if you could get a little, just a little freaking, I don't know, 20 by 20, maybe is that too big? I don't know. Just need a bed, for me and my better half, a freaking kitchen, and then a place to grill and let my dogs run around. Dude, I can do that, but I can't sleep outside. I hate it. Like my bed, need some electricity. And I said, dude, I could do that. Anyway, I don't know what it costs, but I was thinking along the same thing with my wife. I said, dude, you go up to Maine, man. 8 weeks. Hey, I knew Rex. Rex, why always give me money? I said, Rex, you don't have to. I appreciate it, brother, but you don't have to do that. Much obliged, but you don't have to do that. Yeah, right on, man. All right, Randy. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here. And again, if anyone there you go. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that might be kind of what this guy was talking about. They call it some kind of Maine wilderness thing where they call it permies. That's what he said, permies. And then I figured out that meant permanent shelters. That was pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Right. All right, man. Appreciate it, Rex. Some boneless wings for Finnegan. Trust me, man. They eat large. All right, I can get out of here. I'm gonna take these guys out for the look. So he's been there the whole time. He's been there literally the whole time. Dogs, some food, a beautiful better half, and some electricity. Life is good. All right, my friends, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate it. So, yeah, let's make this a schedule. If I make a commitment to a schedule, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make it a commitment now. Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern time. If you all have ideas you want me to research in advance, please let me know. Because, I don't know. That's one of the things about my live streams. Half time I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. But if you have ideas that you want to talk about, I don't care what it is. Just let me know. Send me an article. Say, hey, maybe talk about this in a live stream. That'd help me a lot actually. So I can see what's on your mind. And maybe I can do something like that. Maybe I can put a post out there every now and again. What do you guys want to talk about for the next live stream? What do you think, baby? Look at this guy. Oh, this guy. So, all right. See you guys. God bless. Thanks now.